While Bitcoin was at its all-time high of $109,000, the air was filled with extreme optimism. But when Bitcoin suddenly dumped to $74,000, many of those same people panicked, sold, or quietly exited. And now, as Bitcoin is once again creeping toward 100K, those same voices are back, suddenly bullish again. But amidst this noise, a few individuals stood out. These weren't vague calls with room for interpretation. They made specific predictions, backed by solid reasoning, and stuck to their views even when it wasn't popular. In this video, we're diving deep into the minds of the few who got it right. We'll explore what they said when they said it, and most importantly, what they expect next. Over the past few cycles, some names have consistently nailed market tops and bottoms. I've spent hours digging through old videos, tweets, and blog posts to condense their thinking into one clear narrative. If you stay till the end, you'll not only know who got it right this time, but also get a crystal clear idea of what to expect in the rest of 2025 and beyond. Plus, I'll introduce you to a lesser-known analyst who's been absolutely killing it this cycle, spotting local tops and bottoms almost perfectly. He's someone you'll want to follow. So if you appreciate research-based content that cuts through the noise and avoids 40 minutes of empty blabber, hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get straight into it. The key to compounding gains in crypto isn't just buying low, it's about knowing when to sell high and then buying back cheaper. But that's easier said than done. Timing the market is one of the hardest things in investing, and if you get it wrong, you could end up selling at the wrong time and buying back at a higher price. Most of us don't have the macro expertise or the technical skill to predict these moves on our own, but luckily we don't have to. We can observe the handful of analysts who have consistently read the market right. Let's start with one of the most respected voices in traditional trading circles who earned his crypto stripes in 2017, Brandt. A veteran commodities trader with over 4 decades of experience, Brandt was one of the few who publicly warned about a major correction in late 2017. While everyone was euphoric about Bitcoin approaching $20,000, Peter tweeted that Bitcoin was forming a parabolic advance, a rare and often dangerous setup. He warned that if the parabola broke, it could crash all the way down to $4,000. That's exactly what happened. Bitcoin crashed to $3,200 over the next year. Fast forward to 2025, Peter remains relevant and active. He continues to rely on classic charting techniques, and while he admits that Bitcoin is a new kind of asset, he treats its price action like any other commodity. As of April 2025, Brandt is cautiously bullish. He opened a long position when Bitcoin broke $90,000, targeting a move to between $130,000 and $150,000. His analysis is based on a possible head-and-shoulders continuation pattern and historical halving-driven momentum. But he's not blindly bullish. He warns of a bearish case too, which could pull Bitcoin down to $50,000 if the new parabola breaks. He's very strict on risk management and uses tight stop losses. When we talk about 2017 and timing the top, we can't forget Charlie Lei, the creator of Litecoin. Unlike others who made predictions, Charlie acted. In December 2017, when Litecoin was trading at $350, he publicly announced that he had sold or donated all of his LTC holdings. His reason? To avoid a conflict of interest. But the timing was incredible. It's estimated that he held between 400,000 and 500,000 LTC. If he had held that until 2025, the bag would be worth about $38 million. But in 2017, that move likely netted him over $150 million. The decision stirred controversy. Some praised the transparency, while others saw it as abandonment. But no matter how you view it, one fact is clear: Charlie sold the top. Let's now talk about someone more under the radar, Philb. Back in 2017, while most were cheering for higher prices, he was posting threads breaking down why he believed the market was topping. He looked at declining volume, overbought RSI, and lack of structural support. His reasoning was grounded in traditional TA, not Moonboy logic. He wasn't emotional or sensational, just logical. And his warnings came before the crash. Today, Philb keeps a lower profile. His X profile is locked and he shares less publicly. But in recent interviews, he's shared some key thoughts. He sees Bitcoin reaching around $180,000 by the end of 2025, but he also believes this cycle will be slower and more grindy compared to the explosive runs of the past. He emphasizes pullback accumulation and warns against retail overleverage. He's not chasing pumps, he's planning smart entries and exits. Another analyst who nailed the 2021 cycle was Pentohi. A pseudonymous trader with a huge following, Pentohi was among the first to publicly say he was exiting Bitcoin positions near the 69K top. He flagged warning signs like bearish divergences on higher timeframes, and noted that altcoins weren't following BTC, a clear red flag. He also highlighted macro risks like Fed tapering. Unlike others who just screamed bullish, Pentohi explained his reasoning and showed his position changes in real time. As of 2025, Pentohi continues to share high-quality content. He doesn't set wild targets but focuses on key levels, momentum shifts, and liquidity trends. He was one of the first to trim positions near $88,000 before the recent dip to $74K. While some mocked him for selling too early, his cautious strategy helped many avoid the brutal correction. He remains critical of meme coin mania, calling it a strong sign of market overheating. He now sees potential for new highs, but only if the technicals confirm. Then we have Dave the Wave, who brings a unique long-term perspective. While most of crypto was screaming for 100K in 2021, Dave stuck to his logarithmic growth curve model. According to his model, Bitcoin was reaching the top of its historical range, and a reversion to the mean was due. When Bitcoin reached 69K, Dave said it was likely the macro top. He backed his view with historical data and consistently posted charts showing that price action tends to revert to long-term averages. In 2025, Dave is still applying the same model. He believes Bitcoin is in a healthy uptrend and that the recent dip to 75K was a normal correction. Back in February, he predicted a drop to $81,000, followed by consolidation until end of March. Bitcoin hit $74,500 and did exactly that. He now expects Bitcoin to peak in mid-2025, possibly around summer. He doesn't give exact price targets, but he aligns timing with historical wave patterns and moving averages. His message is always the same: DCA, stay patient and don't chase. Now let's talk about the present. Who predicted the recent $74,000 drop when everyone else was screaming for 120K? That would be none other than Arthur Hayes. The former BitMEX CEO dropped a blog post in late January 2025 saying a correction was imminent. He pointed to tightening liquidity, rising treasury yields, and geopolitical risks, especially Trump's tariff policies. He warned of a dip to the $70,000 to $75,000 range, citing high open interest in Bitcoin options and a fragile bond market. And like clockwork, Bitcoin crashed to $74,500. Arthur's outlook going forward is quite bullish. He believes macro shifts like the Fed moving from QT to QE, combined with global money printing and a weakening dollar, could send Bitcoin to $250,000 by year-end. That's a big claim, and while it might not happen in 2025, it's not off the table for early 2026. Hayes calls inflation transitory and views Bitcoin as the ultimate hedge against fiat collapse. Whether you agree or not, his past predictions earn him a seat at the table. But let me now introduce you to someone who hasn't received enough credit this cycle. His name is Bitquant. Back in February, when Bitcoin was near 100K and most were calling for liftoff to 150K, Bitquant predicted a sharp pullback to 76K. He based this on Fibonacci retracement, RSI showing overbought conditions, and extreme long leverage in perpetual futures. He also noted declining exchange inflows and whale accumulation patterns, signals that smart money was preparing for a drop. And he didn't just get the drop right. He previously sold Bitcoin at 74K during the all-time high breakout, then rebought at 52K. That kind of precision is rare. His 2025 prediction, Bitcoin breaking 100K in May and pushing past 145K. He's not placing an exact date, but he's confident that once Bitcoin gets above 100K, it won't go back below it until the bull run ends. I'm personally keeping a close eye on his posts, and I recommend you do too. Now, before we wrap up, a quick reminder: nobody knows exactly what the market will do, but some analysts have proven that they can read the signals better than most. By studying their logic, we improve our own understanding. It's not about blindly following, it's about learning how to interpret data, sentiment, and structure. If you think I missed someone who called it right, drop their name in the comments. I'll dig into their history and maybe feature them in the next video. And if you want to stay ahead without doing hours of research yourself, follow us on socials. We post daily updates on market cycles, trade setups, and everything in between. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.